Um, so our topic today, as we said before, is about famous firsts. The first person to do something. These are the explorers, the pioneers. That's what we're talking about today, and we're going to, and in doing so, we're going to talk. Or we're going to start looking at how to ask questions in the past in English. So that's our topic as well, is asking questions in the past. Now, before we begin, I want to say that this may be a bit of a basic topic for some people. This is usually something, this is usually something that you learn very early in your English learning journey, is how to ask questions in the past. But I have a lot of students that are at higher levels, and I hear mistakes with asking questions in the past all the time. All the time. From high level students, from low level students, from the highest levels, I hear lots and lots of mistakes with asking questions in the past. And so today, we're going to try to knock them out so that you don't make any more mistakes asking questions in the past. It's a very important part of English that a lot of people don't take the time to understand. So we're going to look at it today. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let's do this. The famous firsts. Now, the first person that I want to talk about, the first part for today, just to warm up, just to get us going, is I have a picture here of a man named Neil Armstrong. His name is Neil Armstrong, and he is the first person to do something. I want to know if you can tell me what he was the first person to do in a full sentence. I want a full sentence from you. So what was he the first person to do? That's my first question for you. What was he, this person, Neil Armstrong, what was he the first person to do? Oh, I see we have Raimonda from Italy. Excellent, Raimonda. Excellent to see you here. Happy to see you. Raimonda, tell me, who is this guy? Who's this person in the picture? Neil Armstrong. What was he the first person to do? I need to know from you. All right, so what was he the first person to do? And extra points, so bonus points, if you can tell me what he said, because it's very famous. He had some very famous words when he did the thing that he did. So if you can tell me his famous words, that's extra points for you. Of course, the points don't matter, but yeah, why not? Yeah, so you get extra points today. So what did this person, Neil Armstrong, do? What was he the first person? Okay, I'm seeing some answers. There we go. We have from Delphine. He was the first man walking on the moon. Absolutely, that's exactly right. So Neil Armstrong, the man in the picture here, he was the first man to walk on the moon. I like to walk instead of walking. I suppose it's not grammatically incorrect to say walking, but usually when we talk about these famous firsts, we talk about the first person to do something. So he was the first man to walk on the moon. Oh, and Belen has the quote. Absolutely, very good, Belen. Let's see, what is it? Because it was very famous what he said. But here you go. His famous quote. It's one small step for man, not men. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind is actually what he said. One giant leap for mankind. So he said a giant leap for mankind. All right, and a giant leap is a big jump, right? So a big jump. So one small step for him to step out of the spaceship, or the what do we call it? Yeah, the ship. But one giant leap for mankind. I like that, mankind. Mankind. Yeah, for all humans. So one small step for him, but one giant leap forward for mankind. Absolutely. That's exactly what he said. All right, so this is somebody who's a famous first from my country. You can see his flag on his sleeve there. So he's a famous first from my country. I want to know now, can you think of any famous firsts from your country? Every country has explorers, it has pioneers, it has scientists and inventors, it has people who are the first ones to do things, and they always become very famous. So I'm curious, because I know that I grew up learning about a lot of the famous firsts from my country. I'm curious if you can tell me about any famous firsts from your country. Some inventors, some pioneers, some explorers? Can you think of anyone? I know we have lots of people here in Europe. I know Europe has lots of really, really great pioneers, great famous first, the explorers. They explored all over the place. So who are some famous firsts from your countries? Curious to know if you can tell me about them. Who are some famous firsts from your countries? Of course, we have, from mine, we have the astronaut here. We have Neil Armstrong, and we're going to look at a couple others from the U.S. and from abroad as well. We're going to see from all over the place. But I'm curious. What who your famous firsts are. Let's see. I'll give you a moment, but I don't want to spend all day on this because I think I'm going to be waiting for a while because we do have a little bit of a lag on this here. But if you can tell me who your famous firsts are, that'd be great. If not, then we're just going to continue, and maybe you can think of them later. Sometimes it's hard to think of people in the moment who are the famous firsts, or the astronauts, or the explorers. But all right, well, we're going to continue. We're going to move on. This is something you can think about, and maybe later on you can tell me if you can remember. Just at any point in today, just type into the chat and tell us who the famous first from your country are. But we're going to move on. So the first thing that I want to cover today, as far as the structures of the day, I want to talk about these information questions in the past. I want to talk about how to ask questions in the past. That's the first thing we're going to cover today, because the rest of the day is all about practicing asking these questions. So that's what we're going to do the rest of the day. So when we talk about asking questions, there are really two types of questions that we can ask, right? There are always two types of questions that we can ask. One of them we can call the yes/no questions. And I think that these are the ones that most people don't have much problem with. I think most people, when they ask questions in the past or in the present or in the future, using these yes/no structures, they usually are able to do it very easily. So what this looks like is, just remember that we always start these yes/no questions with either one of two words, either did or was. Those are the only two words that we can start a yes or no question with in the past. Okay, so we can start either with did or with was. So our first question here says, did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? Now, we've already established that he did, but notice that we say did he go to the moon with the infinitive. So we have the infinitive form here. Go infinitive. All right, so our question is, did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? And the answer is, of course, yes, he did. The only two possible answers we could have here are yes or no. Right? That's why we call these yes or no questions, is because we can either answer yes or we answer no. Those are the only two options. Now, that's with most verbs. We can say it like this, to go. Now, with the verb to be, of course, we're going to say it with was, and we can have a question like, was Neil Armstrong an astronaut? And of course, again, the answers are either yes or no. Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Right? I think that's the easy part. Now, the more difficult part, the part where I hear a lot of people making a lot of mistakes, even at the very high levels, is with these information questions. And I want you to notice something here. We have our question over here. It says, did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? And here you can see the exact same structure in this sentence. You can say, did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? But all we need to do is add an information question word in front of that question. So we can say, when did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? Now, in the chat, while I'm explaining the rest of this, I want you to tell me, what are some other question words? Of course, we have when. What are some other ones? What are some other ones? If we're asking about a person, or about a place, or about a time, or about a method, what are some other question words that we can use? Okay, I want you to answer that while I'm finishing this. So we say, when did Neil Armstrong go to the moon? And of course, in this case, we're asking for the information. With the word when, we're asking for time. We're asking for time. And so in this sentence, we can say he went to the moon in 1969. Now, notice that the answer, of course, still has the past form of the verb. He went to the moon in 1969. Even though the question does not have the past form. It has the infinitive form. And at the bottom here, we can also see that we can ask a question like how old, or how much, or how many, or lots of different question words. But with the verb to be, we can say how old was he in 1969? And we answer he was 38 years old in 1969. All right, so that's the basics. All right, I wanted to get a base here just so that we can, just to get us going here, just so that we can all have this fresh in our mind as we continue, as we go on throughout the rest of the day. Okay, now that's enough grammar for a few minutes. I think that we can move on and come back to the grammar of this a little bit later. But so let's move on. I see some people are typing into the chat. I'm seeing some question words like where and who and whom and whose and when and how. I'm seeing lots of good ones. There are a lot more of them. We usually teach that there are five, the five question words, the five WH words, which would be who, what, when, where, and why. But then we also have how, and then we have lots of other words like how much, or how many, or how old, or how often. So lots of other question words using the word how, but these are the main ones here. These are the ones that we normally use. Absolutely. All right, so here's what I want to do today. So for the next part of this class, I want to practice forming questions. So for the rest of this time, whoever writes the question first gets the points and is the winner of the day. But our first question here is, so the first activity we're going to do is this right here. It says, who is this famous first? So this person here is a famous first, and we have to figure out who it is. And we can only figure out information, we can only figure things out by asking information questions. So the first person who can unscramble this sentence here and ask the information question is the one who gets the point, or who wins the day. Okay, so the first person to unscramble this sentence. You know, we need to put this here and this here and this here. Whoever can do that first gets the point. All right, I'll give you a moment to do it. There are going to be 3 questions. Okay, so 3 questions, and with those 3 questions, we'll be able to determine who this person is. All right, let's see. What can we say? Oh, I'm starting to see some come in. Looks like we have a good one here. Yes. All right, here we go. I think this one was first. So Belen says, which country? Which country? Absolutely. So which country was this person from? Very good. Absolutely, Belen. Very good. Excellent. So the first sentence, the first question was, which country was this person from? Very good. And the answer, he was from Germany. Okay, so that's our answer. He was from Germany. Okay, so we have to think. We have to remember this information. We have to remember that this person is from Germany. That's our first hint about who it is. And then we have to ask some more questions. Okay, so here's the next question. Again, oh, and we can see that he's kind of clearing up a little bit. So again, I need the first, whoever is the first person to give me the next question gets the point once again. So we have our first person, he's from Germany. He's from Germany. And now we need to ask another question using these structures here. Work, he, oh. I think we only need one of these. We have too many of them. We only need one. Oops. All right, let's see who's going to get it first. I think a lot of these are pretty simple. Doing it this way, I think, is very simple, but let's see who can get it first. That's the most important thing. It looks like right now we've got, oh, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to keep score. We are going to keep score. So far, I think Belen has the first point. Very nice, Belen. Belen has the first one. Now, for the second one here, I believe we have Raimonda, number 1. Very nice, Raimonda. Congratulations. You got the point. The question here is, where did he work? Absolutely. Where did he work? Very good. And the answer, he worked in a patent office. He worked in a patent office. All right, that's where he worked. I think you may be getting the answer here. You may be getting an idea of the answer here. We have one more question. If you know who it is, then go ahead and call it out. Go ahead and say it in the chat. But let's see. We have our last question, and with this question, hopefully, we'll be able to get who it is. So right now we have Belen with 1 point, and we have Raimonda with 1 point as well. And now we have our last question. So whoever can get the question gets a point. And if you get the name, if you can tell me who it is, you get 2 points, okay? That's how we're doing this. I'm making up the rules as we go, but if you get the question right, you get 1 point, and if you get the answer right, you get 2 points, okay? The first person to give me each of those gets the points. And I'll put in here because I'm seeing writing from Delphine, so I'm seeing 3 people in the game right now. If you're watching right now, then you can also participate in our game, okay? But you come in a little bit late. All right, let's see. So here we go. Last one. All right, I have it from Berlin. What was he famous for discovering? What was he famous for discovering? All right, remember, whoever says his name first gets the point. Whoever says his name first gets the point. Belen gets the point for the sentence. What was he famous for discovering? For the question. Now, tell me, who is this person? Yes, that's right. What was he famous for discovering? And he was famous, or he is famous, or he was famous for his theory of relativity. He was famous for his theory of relativity. Okay, so that's our last hint. I think with that, and also with our picture on the side, I think that we might be able to get pretty close to an answer, huh? Let's see. All right. Yes, Belen, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Very good. Belen gets the 2 points. Our person is Albert Einstein. Very good. Congratulations. All right. So we have Belen with 4 points. We have Raimonda with 1, and Delphine. I'm getting your answers, but you're not first. So I'm sorry you don't get the points yet. But that's all right. Just got to be a little faster. Because we have more rounds. The first one, yes, was Albert Einstein. He was the first person to discover relativity. We're kind of stretching with this famous first idea. All right, so that's our first one. Very good questions, absolutely. All right, here's the next one. Our next person. Again, you get 1 point if you get a question right, if you're the first person to get the question, and you get 2 points if you tell me who the person is. 1 point for the question, 2 points for the person. Okay, so the first one here, what can we say? I need our questions. Ooh, it's so close. I get one of them and then immediately the second one. One and then immediately the next one. All right, let's see. Oh, I got a bunch of them. Oh, but once again, Belen takes it. All right, very nice, Belen. The question, yes, of course, where did this person live? Now, notice that all of our questions have the word did in them. Very good. All of our questions have the word did. This is the most common mistake that I hear with past questions, is people saying things like where this person lived. I hear that a lot. People will say something like that, where this person lived. But no, where did this person live? And the answer, this person lived in Washington, D.C. That might give you a pretty good hint as to who it is. All right, so 1 point for Belen for that one. 1 point for Belen. Oh, that's not a pen. All right, here's our next one. I need to know, what can we say? Here, what's our question? That's a point for Belen. His nickname. What is a nickname? All right, let's see. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get this one? All right, I'm seeing some good ones. I'm seeing them. Yes, absolutely. Delphine, you're on the board. Very nice. What was his nickname when he was young? That's our question. Very good. There we go. All right, excellent. What was his nickname when he was young? If you know the answer if you know who this is, you can go ahead and write it, but you only get one guess. What was his nickname? Now, remember, a nickname is kind of the name that people call you, but it isn't your real, true name, okay? That's what a nickname is. So this person's nickname was Barry. Okay, so he lived in Washington, D.C., and his nickname when he was young was Barry. Okay. Okay. All right. One more question. One more question. And let's see what we can get. Let's see. All right. So again, 1 point for getting the question right and 2 points for getting the person right. And this one, yeah, here's our last question. Our last question. Who's going to get it? You got to get it fast. You got to be fast in this game. Whoever's the fastest gets the points today. Whoever's the fastest gets the points today. All right, very good. All right, they all come in one after another, very fast. All right, here we go. Yes, that's exactly right. You all have it right. The question is, let's see. Oh, but we have Delphine was first. Delphine was first. Just waiting for them to come in. Yes, Delphine was first. The question is, what did he do first? What did he do first? All right, who is the person? Who is it? Who is it? What did he do first? He was the first black president of the United States. The first black president of the United States. I hope you can get it. I hope you can get it. It's funny. I can see typos from typing too fast. You're going too fast. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm seeing some answers. I'm seeing some answers. Ooh, I don't know if I should give it to you, Delphine. I don't know if I should give it to you. That you didn't spell it right. Spelling is important. I got to give it to Belen. Belen was the first one to have the spelling right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, here we go. So, of course, yes, the person is Barack Obama. Very nice. All right. We all knew it. We all knew it. I give points to you both get points for that one. Why not? The points don't matter. You don't win anything. But yes, the person in the picture is Barack Obama. Absolutely. So he lived in Washington, D.C. His nickname was Barry, and he was the first black president of the United States. Barack Obama. Exactly right. Excellent. All right, so that's the second one. We have one more famous first that we need to discover, and this one is much more difficult. If you can get this one, I'll be very impressed. If you can get this next one, I'll be very impressed. All right, this person. Here we go. Let's see the questions. Again, the first one to give me the question gets 1 point, and if you can guess the person at any point throughout the game, you get 2 points. All right, so if you get the person right, you get 2 points. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, you're trying. You're trying. I can see you're going real fast. That's good. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I think this one's going to be a little bit trickier than the other ones. I think this one's just less popular, less well known than the other ones. All right, let's see. So our first one, Belen had the question. Once again, very nice. And the question is, where was this person born? Where was this person born? And the answer is she was born in Kansas, USA. You can notice that you can see that I have a lot of people from the USA just because that's what I know most. But yes, she was born in Kansas, USA. All right, so we know that it's a woman because we have she, right? So we know it's a woman. Here's our next one. So that's 1 point for Berlin. Give me the next question. Who's got the next question for me? Who's got the next question for me? Where was this person born? She was born in Kansas, USA. I don't know which city, actually. I don't know which city. Kansas is a state. I don't know which city. All right. This one's a little bit trickier. I think this question's a little bit trickier because we have do and did, so it becomes a little bit tricky, I think. But I believe that you can get it. I believe in you. All right, let's see. Where was this person born? No. Okay, Belen. Once again, I don't know if Belen's getting these faster or getting the video faster, or just typing really fast. I don't know, but Belen's getting them. Very nice, Belen. And the next question is, what did she do for a living? What did she do for a living? Absolutely. And this is a really good question to be able to ask is, what did she do, or what does someone do? A very good question, a good way to ask somebody's job without saying the word job, right? You say, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Or what did she do for a living? And the answer is, she was a pilot. Okay, so she was born in Kansas, and she was a pilot. So that's what we know so far. She was a pilot for a living. So she was born in Kansas, she was born in the USA, and she was a pilot. Now, I don't know, maybe you're Googling this on the side in another tab or in another thing. I don't know. But we have one more question. Here we go. I need the question for you. One more, again, 1 point for the question, 2 points if you can tell me who the person is. 1 point for the question, 2 points if you can tell me who the person is. Right. Let's see. All right, all right. Do we have it? Have we got the answer? We have got the answer. Yes, absolutely. Very nice, Delphine. Very good. So we say, what was she the first person to do? What was she the first person to do? Very nice. All right. So here's what it is. The answer is she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. So she flew the plane from the United States across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe. I don't know where exactly she went, but she crossed the Atlantic Ocean to Europe. All right. That's our final hint to who this person is. All right, can we get it? Can we get it? Oh, we've got it! Yes, Berlin. I don't know if you looked it up or if you knew this. If you knew it, very good, excellent. But yes, the answer is. Oh no, the answer is Amelia Earhart. Absolutely, very good. Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly a plane across the Atlantic Ocean. Actually, it's pretty interesting. Nobody knows what happened to her. She just disappeared one day. No, we still don't know. Some people think she might still be alive. I don't know. That's one of those conspiracy theories. Like going to the moon. That's another one. But yes, she was the first person or the first woman to successfully fly across the Atlantic Ocean from the U.S. to Europe. Very nice, everybody. All right. Very good. So that's 2 points for Belen. So that means we have now 11 points for Belen, 1 point for Raimonda, and 5 points for Delphine. So excellent. We're on track. There's more to do. So don't worry. There's more games, or you'll be able to get more points. All right. So I want to look at another aspect of this real fast. Going back to the grammar of things, I want to go back to that, and I want to look at one funny thing that I hear a lot of, where I hear a lot of mistakes in this, and I want to look at these 2 questions here. Right. So at the top, we can see the same questions that we've been seeing all day, right? Who did Neil Armstrong go to the moon with? When did he go? Where did he go? Right. Where we use this word did and the infinitive, right? That's how we can ask questions. We have the question word, question word, and I'm sorry for my handwriting. I'm going to try to get better at writing on the screen. It's not very easy to do, though. But we have our question word plus did, plus the infinitive of the verb, right? The infinitive of the verb. Infinitive. All right, we're just going to know that that's a T there, the infinitive. Right, so that's our normal question. That's that kind of question that we normally see in the past. Is a question word with did and the infinitive. Who did Neil Armstrong go to the moon with? He went to the moon with Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin was his co-pilot, was also on the flight. Neil Armstrong was the first person to step on the moon, but Buzz Aldrin was there too. But down at the bottom, we see an interesting question, one that not a lot, or that is tough to make. You have to really think to make this question here. And this one says, who, so we have our question word again. We're just going to say QW, question word. But here we have the verb in the past tense. The verb in the past tense, which is a little bit strange, isn't it? I mean, I just told you, we just did a whole practice activity. We just learned and we just practiced that we always say who or what or when or where plus did plus the infinitive, right? We just learned that. So what is happening here? Well, in this case, we're using the word who, and it's the subject of the sentence. So we're asking about the subject of the sentence. And when we ask about the subject of a sentence, things are a little bit different. The sentence is formed a little bit differently. Okay, so in this case, when we ask about the subject of the sentence, we're going to use this form right here, the question word who. And it's really only who. The other one we can also say is what. So we can say who or what in some cases. Sometimes that's that one, but those are the only ones that really work in this case. But we're going to say who or what plus the verb already in the past form Okay, so if we're asking about the subject, Neil Armstrong, then we say who went to the moon. If we're asking about the object, Buzz Aldrin, then we say who did he go with. Okay, so that's just one little extra piece that we need to remember, right? This is one that can be tricky, can be hard to remember, but we just need to remember if we're asking about the subject, we just say who went. If we're asking about the object, who did he go with? Okay, so we need to remember those two parts. All right, now maybe that's a review for you. Maybe this is something brand new. Maybe it's blowing your mind. I don't know, but we're going to practice with it now because if we don't practice, you never remember. So we're going to talk about some other famous firsts here now, some famous people who were the first ones to do things, some explorers and pioneers. And your job is to give me the give me the question that asks for the information that I have underlined. So like in this one here, we have the time underlined. So you need to ask the question that elicits this answer. Okay. That's your job now. So once again, as we said before, Belen is in the lead 11-4-1 or 11-5-1, sorry. The first person to give me the question here gets 2 points, okay? So we have to be fast today. So the first person to give me the question gets the 2 points. All right, so let's see. What can we do? And it has to be perfect. It has to be a perfect sentence. I don't want any mistakes. I want it to be perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay? If you get the perfect question, then you get the points. All right, I'm already seeing a good answer. I'm seeing one good answer. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good, Delphine. So the one here, Edmund Hillary reached the summit of Mount Everest in 1953. And the question, when did Edmund Hillary, I'll take it, reach the summit of Mount Everest? Absolutely. And notice, yeah, okay, good. So we have, when did he reach the summit of Mount Everest? Very good. Notice that we have this expression here, to reach the summit. Reach the summit. Right? That's the highest point. Reach the summit. That's a good way. That's a good way to say that. A lot of people will say he climbed Mount Everest. That's good, but we're advanced English speakers, so we say he reached the summit. All right. Excellent. Very good. So that's 2 points for Delphine. Excellent, Delphine. 2 points. Boom. The rest of you, yes. When did Edmund Hillary reach the summit of Mount Everest? Very good. And when did Edmund Hillary reach the? Excellent. All right. Great sentences. Very good. Congratulations, everybody. All right. That's the first one. I want to hear this one now. I'm going to try to make these a little bit tricky because I don't want this to be too easy for you. If it's too easy, then it's no fun. I want to challenge you a little bit. So here we go. Now I need you to encompass all of this and give me a question. All right. So we have the same situation, the same action, the same exploration, but now you need to give me the question that elicits reached the summit of Mount Everest. Okay, reach the summit. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but I think you can do it. We had a question before that was very similar to this one. So I'm curious if you can put it together, if you can create it. Let's see. So Edmund Hillary reached the summit of Mount Everest in 1953. This one might be a little bit. So I think that this one is tricky because it seems very complicated, but when you see the answer, it's going to be very simple. It's a very simple answer. Right? Notice that we cannot include any of these words in the question. We cannot include any of the blue words in the question, okay? Because we don't know that information. You can't include information that you don't know in a question, right? If the answer is he reached the summit of Mount Everest, but we don't know that if we're asking the question, so we can't include that in the question. Ooh, yes, excellent. I've got an answer. Or a question. Yes, Belen. I'm going to take it because we didn't really, because Hillary can be a woman's name, and so but it's a boy, so we could say he. So what did he do? Absolutely. Very simple one. What did Edmund Hillary do, or what did he do in 1953? Oh, yes, absolutely. Very good. What did he do? Yes, absolutely. So whenever we're asking about the activity, it can be a very long explanation, a very long part of the sentence. But the question to get that information is very short. What did he do? Very simple, very short, right? So if you ever want to know about an action that somebody does, this is the way to ask it. What did the person do? What did the person do? Very simple. Very good. This is what I was talking about. It seems complicated because it's very long and it's hard to get the answer, but then it's actually a very short, simple question. So, all right, very good. That point goes to Belen. Very good. Congratulations. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Going for the next one. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here's the next one here. It says Yuri. I'm going to try to pronounce it. Gagarin. I don't know. Maybe if you know it, then you can correct me. But Yuri Gagarin flew around the Earth in a rocket. Give me the question. I need to know the question to get this part of the sentence, to get this answer here. Yuri Gagarin or Gagarin. I'm not sure. If you know how to pronounce it, then put some accents on it and tell me how to do it in the chat. But yeah, Yuri. We'll just say Yuri. Flew around the Earth in a rocket. He flew around the Earth in a rocket. Very good. And we can see the rocket right here. I think this is the one he actually used. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, Belen. Very good. Belen says, who flew around the Earth in a rocket? Excellent. Very nice. Who flew around the Earth in a rocket? Very good. Very good, Belen. 2 points. Congratulations. I'm seeing other people giving me great answers, great questions, but Belen was first. So very nice. Who flew around the Earth in a rocket is our question. Who flew around the Earth in a rocket? Okay, good. Here we go. Here's the next one. Now we need to ask about this part here. Ooh, this one's tricky. Again, I'm trying to trick you today. I'm not trying to make it easy for you. I want it to be difficult. But let's see. So Yuri Gagarin, or Yuri, flew around the Earth in a rocket. How do we ask about the in a rocket part? So we need to ask about the method. We need to ask about the manner that he did it. I almost told you. The way that he did it. I almost told you the answer. So let's see. What can we say? Yuri flew around the Earth in a rocket. So how do we ask about the in a rocket part? Delphine, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is there. Oh, with what? Okay. So, so Belen has the right answer. But you did there's something interesting that I want to point out here. This is where English kind of diverges from a lot of European languages, especially the Romance languages, Spanish, French, Italian, which seems like it's all represented here today. This is where it kind of diverges, because I think in a lot of languages, you would structure this to say something like, with what did he fly? Or in what did he fly? Right? But in English, we don't really structure things like that. We used to, back in the old English, they used to do that. And you'll still find people doing this in very formal cases. But in most sentences, we don't like to start the sentence with the preposition when asking a question. Now, that goes against a lot of grammar rules, but in normal conversation, in normal speech, that's not normally how we do it. And I'll show you in 1 second how we do, but very fast. Let's see. So we have Belen, who had the right answer. How did he fly around the Earth? Absolutely. So we'll say, how did he fly around the Earth? I'll go ahead and give you your points. 1, 2. Delphine, I think, or I don't remember who said it, but instead of saying with what, the sentence could be like this: what did he fly around the Earth? Around the earth in or with, we could also say. So we could say it like that. Normally, now again, this goes against what a lot of grammarians say. There's an old rule in English that you can't end a sentence with a preposition. People say this all the time, and in Old English that's true, and in very, very, very proper formal English that's also kind of true. But this is how 99.9% of English speakers like to form the sentence. They don't put the preposition here. They put it here instead, right? So not here. You do put it here at the end of the sentence. Okay. Now, if you've had English teachers in the past and they've told you this rule, then I don't know. You have to decide who you want to believe. But this is what I stand by: is that you can end a sentence with a preposition. But our sentence is with how. So whenever we're talking about the manner, or the method of doing something, that's usually when we will use the word how to ask for the question. Okay. Very good. So how did he fly around the Earth? All right. And here's one more. I think this is our last one, but there might be one more after this. Our last person, Marie Curie. Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize 2 times. 2 times. Another way to say this, again, I need the question, but another way to say 2 times is to say twice. Twice. So she won the Nobel Prize twice, or 2 times, and was the first person to do it. I don't know if maybe someone has done it since then. I don't know, but I know that she was the first person to win the Nobel Prize twice, or 2 times. I don't remember what they were in. They were in very different fields, I think. I don't remember exactly. But so we need to ask about this information here, the quantity, the number of times. That's the information we need. The quantity or the number of times. So let's see, what can we get? What can we get here? Oh, so let's see. Yes, Delphine. How many? Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry, Delphine. How many times did he win Berlin? Or she win? I think she won. Yeah, so how many times did she win the Nobel Prize? How many times did she win the Nobel Prize? Absolutely. So this is another one where a lot of times I will hear people take out the word did. It's very easy to forget to use the word did in this sentence. It's very, very easy. How many times she won? That's what I hear a lot. I hear a lot of people saying that. How many times Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize? But no, we need to keep the word did in there. And it becomes hard to remember when we have very long question words like this one here. How many times? When we say who did, that's easy to remember because it's just 2 short words. But when we have 3 words in our question, sometimes it can be hard to remember that we still need to have did in there. But yes, how many times did Marie Curie, or did she, win the Nobel Prize? Very nice. Absolutely. All right. And the answer, of course, twice. All right. Now, here we go. Here's the next one. The same person, the same activity, but now we're asking about a different part of the question. I actually saw this question on a game show not too long ago, and it was structured exactly like what you were about to write. But it was a question on the game show, and I knew it because I had just prepared this lesson, so I knew the answer to the question. I didn't know it before that, but I knew it after that. So let's see. Notice, remember. So whenever we're using, when we have a person here, so remember, we have to think if we're using who. We have to remember, is it the subject or is it the object? That's a very important part of this. Is it the subject or is it the object? We have to remember that. And that's going to decide how we structure the sentence. Is it the subject or is it the object? Yeah, all right. I'm seeing some answers here. Oops. I'm seeing some answers here. Raimonda, remember, is it the subject or is it the object? That's the important question to ask yourself. Yes, very good. All right, Belen, very good. Very good. The answer, or the question, is who won the Nobel Prize twice or 2 times? Who won the Nobel Prize 2 times? Excellent. Absolutely right. Very good. Notice that we have the subject of the sentence. This is the subject, which means we do not say did. Did is not allowed if we are asking about the subject of a sentence. We cannot say did. So since this is the subject, all we do is replace the subject with the word who and keep the sentence exactly the same as it was before. So we just replace the subject with the word who and keep it exactly the same as before. Very good. All right. Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize 2 times. All right, and the last one here, the same person, Marie Curie once again, won the Nobel Prize 2 times. All right, now we need to ask about the Nobel Prize. So how can we do that? How can we do that? Notice again, this is going to be, we need to think, is this the subject or is this the object? Very important when we're asking questions. The Nobel Prize is the information we need. The Nobel Prize is the information we need. We know it was Marie Curie. We know she won something. And we know she did it twice, but we don't know what it is. Yes, absolutely. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. All right, I see 2 very good answers. I see 3 very good answers. Excellent, everybody. Let's see. I have to wait for them to come in. Yeah. Okay, good. So, very nice. All right, Delphine gets this one. The question is, what did she win twice? What did she win twice? Absolutely. And again, remember. Oh no, that was our. Yes. Okay. So I think I forgot to put that one in. But yes. What did she win twice? That's our question. What did she win twice? And remember that if we say who or what, that's when we need to think subject or object. If we think who or what, okay? So here we have the object. So we do say did. What did she win twice? Very good. Or what did she win 2 times? Absolutely. Very good. All right. Excellent. Now, the last one here, I was saving the best for last. This is Laika. Laika was the first dog in space. Laika was the first dog in space. How do we ask that question? How do we ask that information? Laika was the first dog in space. How can we ask it? Again, it's the subject. It's the subject. So how do we form it? How do we form the question if it's the subject? Okay, excellent. Raimonda, absolutely. Very good. Good answer. I'll give one more second just to see what everyone else says. Yeah, who was the first dog in space? Oh, Raimonda. Yes, excellent. Who was the first dog in space? Now, I included this one because, well, with dogs, with animals, of course we can say who. We can also say what. Normally with animals, we generally say what, but dogs that have names, they're kind of people too, aren't they? Cats, dogs, if they have a name, maybe we can use who. So we can use both of them in this case, if it's a dog. But just remember that if we have who or what, then we need to think, is it the subject, or is it the object? And in this case, it's the subject, so we just keep the sentence just the same, the subject or the object. Absolutely. Okay. Very good, everybody. Very good. I think after it's all said and done, I think Belen is our winner for the day. So everybody in your homes, round of applause for Belen. Congratulations, Belen. Very good. That's the last one. So here's our quick review for this class, for today, that we have these different types of questions that we need to be able to form in the past. Again, even at very advanced levels, I see lots of people making lots of mistakes with these information questions, saying things like, when he went to the moon. No, when did he go to the moon? Right? Saying things like, who, what Marie Curie win? I see things like that. I see things like this all the time, and we need to make sure that we're not doing that. Okay, so you need to remember that we have our yes/no questions, which are the easy ones that everybody knows how to make. I mean, you still have to learn it, but they're generally simpler than the information. We have our information questions where we use when, who, where, how much, how many, how often, how many times, which, right? And we use did if it's the subject, and we don't use did if it's the object, okay? These are the things to remember for today, all right? If you can do that, if you can remember these things, then I would say today was a success, all right? So very good. Congratulations once again to Belen. Very good work. And we'll go ahead and call it a day. So thank you all for coming to this class. I'm going to stay for a minute or two if you have any questions, but if not, then we'll go ahead and finish up this class. I think we're about at the end of the time. So if you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and go. Thank you. Let's see. Raimonda says, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Raimonda. Thank you for coming. These are really fun for me. So I like doing these. I think this is a really great way for us to practice our English together. So excellent. All right, very good, everyone. Once again, if you're not subscribed to this channel to get the alerts and to get notified whenever we have these classes, then go ahead and do that. If you can just like the video, these kinds of things really help me out. So if you are getting value from this, if you like the classes that we're doing, then just those little things can go a really, really long way towards helping me out here, or getting more people involved, right? So, all right, everybody. Take that off the screen. All right, excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I will see you in our next one. If you're already in the English Fluency group with me, then you will get the announcements every time that I have them, or if you are subscribed, you'll get them as well. All right, excellent. Bye, everyone. See you next time.